Okay, I hope everything goes well this time around. Make sure I'm actually live. Okay. Looks like I am. Not showing my screen. Nice. Good start. Alright. So, before we get started, two things I want to mention is that use whatever editor you like. When editing the files that we're going to be editing, make sure you run your editor as sudo. The default editor of the environment variable will be used in sudo-e command. I have that alias as se. So to get started, we're gonna type well, to optimize Linux for gaming, specifically in Overwatch. What we're gonna get started with is that once we have installed Lutris, sudo pacman-lutris, I have some aliases, so apparently you would just see me type p-s lutris or some other dependencies. I'm gonna install Lutris. Also, I'm gonna install wine, wine tricks, or wine staging, which is the development version of wine, wine gecko, and wine mono. Make sure that that's installed. Okay, once you have that, let me actually add this into the description. There you go. Once you have that installed, you can also go to the description and go to find what else we're going to install. Go to wine dependencies. Whatever package manager your distribution is using, just follow the guide here. You can just copy it right here and paste these commands to your terminal. So open up a terminal, paste the command, install these wine dependencies. I already have them installed, so it's skipping them and it's not reinstalling them. So this has this different distributions. Oh, before that, I forgot to mention, you want to edit your pacman.conf. So sudo-e pacman.conf. This will be commented out. You want to uncomment it to enable multi-lib libraries. And then you want to do a pacman, sudo pacman-syy to sync your mirrors. So once you have this all installed, you can get started. Some other things that you might want to install, you can also use a graphic package manager. This is pamac or add/remove software. You want to install game mode. This is a daemon that sets optimizations for your system temporarily while you're playing games. And I personally like to use Mango HUD as an FPS counter. Let's see what else. I'm not gonna get into graphics drivers at the moment, but I'll recommend you use the open source Mesa drivers or Vulkan as well. Sorry, I'm not sure exactly what to call it, but the proprietary one, I find that it cannot do asynchronous calls for shader compilation, which, you know, like I said before, we will be hatching in, and performance is a little bit lower. So once we are on the lutris.net Overwatch page, or you can just go to lutris.net and type in Overwatch in the search field. You want to click on install. It's going to open up Lutris. You're going to do the standard installation. This is where it's going to install to. So your home, user, games directory, Overwatch, install. It's going to install a script that's going to compile your shader cache on launch. It's going to download Battle.net, and it's going to install some already compiled, not compiled, but some shaders. I guess compiled, pre-compiled shaders. It's kind of confusing that they're called pre-compiled shaders because you gotta recompile them on your system anyways. So it's gonna create a wine prefix for you. Also, you should probably read this important notes, and it goes over what I just said. So it's gonna install state cache to provide stutter-free experience. I still find that it stutters, so I'll show you how to fix that even further to get even less stuttering. Take a sip of water. Okay, it looks like my install actually bugged, which happened to me last time. Lutris, oh, it didn't bug. It was taking a while. I like to turn this off. Doesn't really matter anyways. Or uncheck the box. One thing to note is that on AMD cards, I found that using Wayland as your window manager has slightly better performance than X11 or Xorg, whatever you want to call it. So I recommend using that. NVIDIA doesn't really matter, as far as I know. You don't want to log in here, you just press the X, and then it'll continue doing its thing. You should see text here. Mine is a little bit frozen, but it looks like it is installing just fine. I hope this Windows goes away. If not, we're gonna have to do what is it called? This again. Yeah. It's not really a problem. You just want to remove that. And to double check everything's not running, you can go to the Lutris docs, bottleneck. Sometimes things bug out. Just run this command, make sure there's no wine processors running. They weren't running anyways. I didn't think so. We can go back to the page and click install, or in my case, since I've already previously installed it, you can just type install here, install, continue, and do this again. So this is going to create a wine prefix in the directory shown before. Oh man, it's bugging. Yeah, I should not be doing this. Oh, there we go. Yeah, I should be showing text like this. Installing a real font. Also, I forgot to mention before, don't use a custom kernel when installing games through Lutris. I found it's less than stable. Use Linux LTS. Linux then I've had issues with and other kernels. Like I said before, absolutely make sure that you have Wine Gecko and Wine Mono installed, as well as Wine Tricks. So wine-gecko, wine-mono. Oh, I clicked launch on computer, it's fine. Let this load. Close out of this. Once it's loaded, not again. It should be looping. I literally did this tutorial like about an hour ago. And it worked fine. There we go. Yeah. So, let's see. Okay. Now down in the description, you want to download go to dxvk async, and we're going to patch dxvk for our wine prefix. You want to download the tar.gz. I'm going to make a new directory just for this. I already have it downloaded, as you can see. We're going to make a tutorial directory. We're going to save that. We're going to latency flex. Also go to the releases. Download this. You could use your graphical file manager, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go to downloads, tutorial, and I'm going to extract these. Excuse me. I did not install. Whatever. You don't gotta do this. Just like I have a new distribution. I don't have the right things set up. I'm just gonna run the untar on this. And untar. Unzip. What? I guess it's not working. I use the graphical file manager. Normally this would work, but I don't have all the packages installed that I used to have in my distribution because I recently nuked my system on purpose to test some things out. So I extracted it. It doesn't matter what archive manager you use. So in here, you want to open a terminal in whatever directory you have extracted into. In my case, is my home users downloads tutorial directory. And we want to type this in: export wine prefix equals /home user games Overwatch. And we're going to ls, we're going to change mod. You can just type in ls. We're going to make this executable. We're going to run the script and type install afterwards. Enter. So this is going to patch dxvk for dude, what is going on? Literally, this worked perfectly earlier before. Now it's giving me errors. Shouldn't give me an error. Required application data can be navigated. I think I should have ran it one time before doing it. Yep, it's not working. Well, good thing this is a live stream. I'm not gonna restart for the third time. Let's do it again. I did the steps out of order because I'm trying to do this as fast as possible. But I guess some things I could show you for now. Let's see what else. This will be done pretty much any second now. It's not really worth to dive into the topics. A tool. Let me delete this. Let me see if this works now. Okay, there we go. So, like before, don't sign in, click the X. Let the scripts do its thing. Install script from Lutris. Make sure you run it at least once before patching the XPK. I'm gonna hide my screen for a second while I log in. Okay. Just click X on the welcome back. It's just a store to show you around Battle.net. I guess while we're here, we can change some settings. Settings. Fantastic. Literally, that hasn't crashed like that in forever. Time to run the command I showed you earlier. It doesn't really matter at this point. Is it completely? Make sure you do this on game launch. That's all I wanted to do. So now, just like we did before, you open up a terminal in the place where we extracted the DXVK async. It's still running though. Clients. Need to wait for it to stop running in the background. There we go. It looks like everything worked fine. Okay, while inside Lutris, some things that you might want to change. Go to configure and use system wine tricks. Disable esync. This is for, you don't really use esync anymore. Newer kernels come with fsync already. For better performance, you can use AMD FSR to dynamically change the resolution to optimize performance at runtime. I don't use that, but you can. You don't need easy agent cheat as well, and make sure you do not enable DG Voodoo 2. That you don't need it for this application for retro games, from what I understand, and actually hinders performance. Don't change this. Lutris runtime does help. These are default values. Use system libraries. You probably want to enable desktop effects and reduce pulse audio latency. In my case, I don't think it really matters. So I'm using Pipewire. Like I said before, I like having a FPS counter, and I'm using the open source drivers for AMD Radv, Vulkan. I'm not sure if this changes anything, but I like to enable it. Zephyr can help with compatibility for badly written applications. But personally, since I am on Wayland, this is gonna run on X Wayland anyways. And all of that Zephyr does is run on an SZX session server. I don't see the reason why having the overhead helps. If you're having troubles running Overwatch, maybe we'll enable this. I keep it disabled. Performance is the same either way, at least in my testing. Go into wine configuration. Go to graphics. I'm not sure if this helps, but it might. The disable Windows decorations. Apply and staging. I get better performance when disabling CSMT, the deprecated feature in Wine now, anyways. And we save that and click apply. So now that we've patched the XVK, we want to head over to the GitHub page and introduce an environment variable inside of Lutris. We copy this, go to system options. Obviously, make sure, like I said before, show advanced options. Here we get to add environment variables. Type in the value, make sure you press enter, and we save it. You could also add this environment variable, and all this will do is show you the shaders you've compiled, and you can, how to say this, it will show you a HUD and a value of the number of shaders you've compiled. In your Overwatch directory, it's already going to show you the default compile number, but we're using async now, so we can just change this to pipelines. Save the file. I actually have my own file that I use. I'm actually gonna delete this file. I have it commented out, but for the purpose of the tutorial, I'm gonna have this here. This is the same as adding it through Lutris with this environment variable. And this is also the same as adding this with an environment variable. I just prefer doing it through the conf file in the Overwatch game, in the game directory inside of Overwatch. For latency flex, you're gonna want this if you're using an AMD card. You're gonna type dxgi.custom vend. Make sure the capitalization is in there, capital V, capital I. Vendor ID equals 10 DE. You save the file for the future because we're about to do that now. This is the shader cache that Overwatch comes with. I already have my own custom shader cache. I'm just gonna put this in here, as well as my download of Overwatch. I'm gonna put that in program files x86. I already downloaded Overwatch. Didn't feel like having that re-download during the live stream. Okay. So like I said before, download the tar.gz, you extract it inside of it, you open up a terminal. We don't have to in this case. You can just copy and paste these files, but I like using my terminal file manager, and Emacs makes it faster for me. So here we're gonna go to your game directory. We're gonna go inside of an Overwatch directory, and we are gonna go to System 32. And inside of System 32, we're gonna go inside the latency flex. We're gonna go wine user lib wine x86 underscore 64 Windows. Copy only the DLLs, not the .a. And we're gonna put that inside of the System 32 directory. In my case, I already have it. If you don't have it, make sure it's there. So now we're gonna go to .local share runners, wine, and the runner you're using. You can see what runner you're using by going to configure, runner options, and wine version. So my case is my home user directory.local share Lutris runners wine Lutris dash 7.2. And using your file manager like you did before, go to lib64 wine and same. And as you notice, has the same file structure. We would copy the same DLL files over. I already did this before. You see the folder there. And the Unix, same thing. As you see it here. So once you've done all that, you go to the GitHub page, and we're gonna time to copy some environment variables again. So go to configure, system options. We're gonna add. I'll make sure that this window stays on top. Always on top. We don't need to add the first one because we're not using Proton. We're using the Lutris runner. And it already has NB API turned on. So we don't need to turn it on. Make sure you don't include the equals when copying the environment variable, as is already implied. Make sure you press enter after each one so it saves it. And the last one is LFX equals 1. The percent command % is only for Steam games, which I'm not going to go into. For example, I've attached NVIDIA Reflex slash Latency Flex inside of Apex Legends for AMD cards as well on Steam. So we're gonna go ahead and save that. So basically, Latency Flex works obviously a bit different than NVIDIA Reflex. It's not the same, but it enables it in game and it tries to remove any bottlenecks that exist. I found that it does increase performance and decrease input latency as it claims. So we should have all of that patched in here. Let's see what else. I think that's pretty much it for now. I don't think I missed anything. I'm gonna close this for now. So let's go ahead and launch the game. And we should see our pipeline number go up. So click on locate the game. Just gonna go ahead and verify. It probably will launch a full screen. I'm gonna window it just in case you guys can't see my screen. Let me window it. All I did is press Alt Enter. So you won't have this many graphics pipelines. It's because I've played a decent amount already. This is my own custom shader cache. You probably will have like 1180 around there. Last time I remember. So in game, let's go over some options that you definitely want to change for performance. Obviously, go to full screen. Set your monitor refresh rate. I like to keep that on, but that doesn't matter. System clock. I set my own custom frame rate limiter. Just one below my monitor refresh rate. Typically, you want to have this over your monitor refresh rate. For example, you have a 60 Hz monitor. It helps with responsiveness. Obviously, enable NVIDIA Reflex. Render scale, keep that at 100. Disable dynamic reflections. And reduce buffering, turn that on. And in gameplay, enable high precision mouse input. And enable Dolby Atmos. There we are. Let's see. So while in game, so you can get your shader cache going, I'll recommend going to 500% lobby or tiny Overwatch. Big tiny Overwatch. I don't know what this is. Whatever, it doesn't matter. You can either play or spectate in it. I like to hang around these for like I don't know, half an hour. Make sure you get that shader cache number up. Make sure like everyone uses all their effects, you know. Just stay there for a while until everything's compiled. You get this number fairly high up, probably in the 2000s. Most of the shader cache comes from maps and effects. For additional performance, I recommend you turn off local reflections and ambient occlusion. I usually keep everything on low, to be honest, even on my hardware. As you probably noticed before, let me join another lobby. A lot of players, doesn't matter. Yep, there we are. Let me turn the volume down. My clocks usually, when I'm on full screen, they stay pretty stable around 22 to 2400. Not doing it this time, but it's fine. On AMD GPU cards, I found that it typically won't how to say this, your clocks won't really be stable unless you use something like core control. Well, that's probably why I was running core control earlier. It's probably fucked up everything. Personally, I found that doesn't work for me. You can set your minimum clocks, your maximum clocks on the, you know, your latest AMD GPU. I'm using Navi. Make sure the memory is half of what it is on Windows, because this shows your true memory clock. Windows shows your combined memory clock, which is just, you know, exactly half. You can also change your CPU governor. I'd set mine to performance, so there's no power savings. You apply, you save that. This will usually fix your clocks. For me, let's see. I shouldn't have ran this. I use a different software. In my case, I know like my values by heart, what my GPU can handle. I just set it at that. I personally use AMD GPU clocks. Do I have that open already? Yeah. So set this up, you know, get comfortable knowing like what values your GPUs, you know, can handle. But you want to enable some kernel parameters. If you're using Grub, you can type this into grub cmd linux equals inside your /etc default grub file, and use whatever editor you want to use, text editor. Make sure you run it as sudo. I'm not using Grub, I'm using system deboot. So in that case, what you would do is, you know, you go to, this is the same thing as pretty much this, grub command line underscore linux equals. You type some kernel parameters. You'd be typing this in here. Where is it? You can just copy and paste this in. So if you notice, this is at the very end of mine. And once you do that, you can create a file inside of, where is it? Yeah, your inside etc default, and then create this file. Card usually would be card 0 if you're using one GPU. Make sure you change the X for the value of your graphics card. You see mine has a 0. And here, I found this to be more consistent than core control. Before the update, I haven't used core control since this latest update. Let me quit out of it. And this keeps my clocks basically tied at 2450, 2200. But I was running both programs at once, so that's probably why I was acting a little bit different. And you can set your power limit. For me, I know I can comfortably run 300 plus to, like you've seen before, 382. I keep it at 350 because I know it won't even use that much anyways. And here are some examples for different cards, for Polaris cards. This is Navi. Mine is bent, and I know what my GPU can handle. Make sure you know what you're doing before using AMD GPU clocks. Once you have that enabled, if you're using system D, type system CTL enable. Now AMD GPU clock service. Another thing that you might want to install, which I recommend, is an Annecy. I use the rewritten version, the -CPP, C++ version, as well as I install its rules. Same thing, systemctl enable now, an Annecy. This sets priorities for applications automatically. So the wine server or game Overwatch has one of the highest priorities in my system. It takes priority over my desktop, my browser, my music player, whatever. To get the best performance, it gets the most CPU cycles basically, and it sets this nice level really low. So it's not as nice as other applications that it basically cuts in front of them and gets more priority. So that's nice. Another service that you want to install is no hang. So when you're out of memory, when you don't have as much system memory, RAM, this will help you not crash. I'm using a different service, but you want to enable no hang. I'm using the GNOME service, which is like low memory daemon, low memory monitor service. You can also install that. Don't run them simultaneously, only use one at a time. And these will be running once you boot, or you can do the --now flag. You can tag that on there and it will start the service right there and then. And you can see the status of it, make sure that it's running. Mine happens to be running. So if you're using Grub, like I said before, you want to head over to the link in the description to Chris Titus's website, Speedo Linux. You want to turn off mitigations. This is turning off some security features for server Linux by using desktop Linux, so you don't need these mitigations to be turned on. They help increase performance. Also add quiet and RHGB into your /etc default grub. Make sure you save the file and then reboot. And it says you can get some performance increase up to 30%, around 10 to 30%. And if you have less than 16 gigabytes of RAM, you want to enable Z swap. In my case, that's not it. But if you're using an old kernel, you can turn off mitigations by adding this into your grub command line Linux. This is inside this file. You'll see this, and you put it inside the quotes. Just copy and paste this. Some other things that I recommend that you add. Like I said, I'm using system deboot, so mine looks a little bit different. I don't have ZSwap enabled, so like I said, mine is set to 0. You would turn this into a 1 if you have less than 16 gigabytes of RAM, and you would add some other configuration. I would add FS check, file system check, mode to skip, log level 0. No watchdog. This disables like the journaling service for your system to report errors. Error reporting is usually slower than having error reporting turned on. You turn it off. That's at least that's my understanding. I could be completely wrong on exactly how no watchdog works. Lib ahci ignore underscore SSS. This basically enables that all your drives boot up as one. So if you have multiple SSDs or hard drive disk, it can increase boot time slightly. They all boot up at once, or like, or get powered at once, basically. I heard you can have issues with some graphics cards if you have this enabled. So you turn it off by pressing setting the value to 0. PCIe Gen 2. I'm not sure if Gen 3 works. I just added it on there just in case because I know my graphics card uses Gen 4. This is important though. Radeon.dpm dynamic power management on indie titles that you get like a bunch of FPS. It can tend to crash due to the dynamic power management. So I would say turn on VSync as well as turn this to 0, turn it off. Also, if you're getting like multiple audio devices using your audio manager, I like to disable the graphics card audio. This is another power management thing. This might be deprecated. I don't recommend turning this on. Or turning it off, I mean. So I think that's pretty much everything that I understand so far. Let's see. So we enabled async patch. Well, you patch the XVK. We've added NVIDIA Reflex or latency flex support. We went over how to get your, because usually it's severely underclocks your GPU when you're playing. So, you know, make sure you use core control or AMD GPU clocks. See what else. Like I said before, if sometimes it bugs out, doesn't launch, run this command, make sure nothing's running. Don't use a custom kernel until you have Overwatch installed. Then I would say maybe you can mess around with some of them. You can find them in the AUR using paru or EA. You can do you know, sudo tacman-s. Sorry. Paru or EA. Should be able to install them. You know, paru, you can look for kernels that use different scheduling. I found that PDS has best performance in my system for Overwatch. My limited testing, but typically BMQ has better performance as a CPU scheduler across other titles, or like on average it's better performing. I like using the cat shows BMQ. I actually uninstalled it a couple days ago, but I still have the LTS installed. Doesn't matter. I have the cat shows PDS installed. And let's see what else. Another thing you can do, let's see. I had this here. Yeah, I'm gonna add this to the description. You can read this real quick. What is it called? CPU I don't know, frequency, I guess call it. Add this on there. This basically tells you how to set performance governor to permanent on your system on boot up. But that's not the only thing that I wanted to show. Where is it? There's another thing that you can set. I guess I'll just go over this super quickly. Basically, you change directories into etc udev rules.d, and then you create a file. You do sudo touch cpu.rules. You copy and paste this, and you save it. And then this makes it so whenever you launch your PC, you're always in performance mode. But that's not the one I wanted to show you. There's another thing. Where is it? It's like, I don't know. performance. Improving performance probably, right? Let's see. Oh, this is a really good read. This is basically where I got most of my performance optimizations from, is the Arch Wiki. Also, if you're using the regular Linux kernel or the LTS kernel, it uses the, I think, the CFS scheduler, and you can use Zen tweaks. You can install this from the AUR, and you can systemctl enable and start it, and it'll add the Zen tweaks. Linux Zen is really good as well for gaming kernel, but like I said, I use the PDS, Catchos PDS. Oh yes. This is what I was gonna show you. You want to go and cd into this directory, and here you want to disable mouse acceleration. This configuration is for Wayland using lib input, but I will show you how to disable it on x11/xorg. But most importantly, you can name this whatever you want, but make sure the 20 is there. Make sudo touch 20amdgpu.conf, and inside here you copy and paste this. Here you can disable page flipping and tear free. These two options, like, they can increase performance because they add a buffer to your GPU, but they decrease, they increase input lag. So turn these off for more responsive gameplay. Make sure also as well, if you're on a modern GPU, lasts, I don't know, maybe 5-7 generations. I'm just guessing. You make sure you're using DR level 3. There is no 4 acceptable values. I think it's 1, 2, and 3. And here, sudo touch etc drrc. Make this file, and inside here, sudo -e or sudo whatever the name of your editor is, whatever it is. I don't know. You can do nvim or k, or I don't know. Sudo editor, etc drrc, and turn off vblank mode. You can also add this into here, system options, add, and I think you do all capitals, vblank mode equals 0. I just like to enable it globally for everything. Again, this improves responsiveness but can improve performance, and I think this is needed. Like if you're using AMD FreeSync VRR or display, or what is called G-Sync display, I think you need to enable this, actually, have this set to 1, as well as page flipping enabled, and maybe even tear free. If you're using GNOME, by the way, there is some packages to enable that. GNOME Control Center. There is a VRR version you can install from the AUR. You can custom compile it from the Git page. And there's also Mutter VRR. You can install that, but there's also Mutter Performance. I'm not sure if this increases performance in games, but I like to have it installed anyway. Sometimes be really careful with this one, because this can cause you not to log into your system, or boot up. I've had, in my experience. Yeah, you might need to arch root, chroot, or have a backup, whatever. You can do that. Like I said before, I'm going to show you how to disable mouse acceleration. So in the wiki, just type mouse accel for xorg, accel, mouse acceleration. So here, where is it? None of these are it. There we are. I used to always have this one. I think this disables it globally, but I found on Wayland it doesn't. But if you're using X11 or Xorg, this has worked for me before. If you're using Wayland, you use this. So whatever you're using. Doesn't matter. Lib input on Wayland or Xorg, this should disable mouse acceleration, as well as, you know, mouse options inside of GNOME or whatever desktop environment you're using. So that should be most of it. If you're using a Logitech mouse, you can install Solar to change your DPI, which I have running here. There we are. Let me see if I'm missing anything. I don't think I'm missing
players
anything.
on Linux are a dime a dozen.
Oh, DRI conf. Yes. You can also install a program called DRI conf to enable some other options. Oh, a DRI conf is called number 3 on the list. And DRI conf, you can enable some performance optimizations. Default. This should be enabled by default. Adapt the monitor sync to application performance. This might have to do with, like I said before, FreeSync or VRR. I disable it. Like I said, I don't use it. I don't use it. I've used it before. It feels really smooth and the performance is great. It's a pretty darn good experience on Overwatch, but I like having my frame rate to be as high as my monitor is willing to go. In this case, it doesn't go to 360. It only goes to 240 using FreeSync. I also disabled, you know, GL driver error checking for better performance, as well as Z fights and commutative additive blending optimizations. And here you can add some post-processing effects to enable like anti-aliasing to make it look more fine, have better quality. I have this all turned off for obvious reasons, performance. Debugging, I don't think I have anything here turned on. You know, optimize shaders by replacing uniform literals. This is already a default. Yeah, anything else? That's pretty much it. Read up on some of these options if you really want to get into the nitty gritty. I haven't. I think that should be pretty much it. Yeah, use the Arch Wiki if you need to find out anything more about optimizations. Oh, I was going to show you. Let's see if I can find it. Man, it was like setting some default values on boot up. Oh man. Oh yeah, you can also check if you have resizable bar enabled. It should be enabled by default by typing this into your sudo your terminal. If it's higher than 256, resizable bar is probably enabled. Or if it matches your VRAM RAM. It should match your VRAM RAM. If you read up on this, it'll tell you that, you know, it can have a performance decrease on some applications or titles. In my case, resizable bar, even though I'm using an Intel CPU, does increase performance quite a bit on Overwatch on Linux. You also have to have compatibility support module CSM disabled in your BIOS. What else? I'm really trying to find this one more. Where is it? These rules they can apply when you start up your system. I know I found it here, but let's see. Oh yeah, you should probably add this too. You know, go change into the directory of etc udev rule 60 sudo touch this file and copy and paste this. It increases the performance of input and output devices like your SSD and hard drives. Wow, I really can't find the thing that I wanted to find. Yeah. Oh, IRQ balance. turn that on as well. You know, literally it says the purpose of our appliance is to distribute hardware inputs, interrupts across processors, multiple processor system. You know, RRQ balance. You install that RRQ. I already have it enabled, so I won't let me enable it again, but status RRQ balance. And you probably want to install preload and enable that as well. You can read this real quick. That's pretty much it. There's one on more optimization that I would like to get in here, but I can't find at the moment on this page. There's some hidden gems in here. You can get into the nitty-gritty if you like. Alrighty. Hopefully you guys found this useful. Let me see if there's anybody in chat. Oh, hi. Hello. Sorry. I've not been reading chat. Are you on Grudo or just have chaotic enabled? Sorry, man. You've been talking. Are you still here? How's it going? One device streaming on KDE is more performant. Wayland is the way to go. You can use bottles. Yeah, that is true. I was gonna say bottles. Bottles is more consistent. I felt like I had like less crashes when running the setup and stuff like that using bottles. Yeah, I've set it up before. You can also use GameScope using bottles, but Lutris added GameScope. I don't know if you know about GameScope. It doesn't show when you're in concurrent viewers. You can use these bottles for Overwatch. Works just fine. Yeah, bottles, like on custom kernels, I found that bottles and like installing Overwatch through bottles is more consistent than Lutris. Yeah, Lutris sucks so bucky. It's so true that works on every disto and much more stable. Yeah, that's yeah. Spitting facts. Yeah, I do have bottles installed. My man, you have any questions? I know I went through this super fast and I was just blabbering. Stream is quite delayed for me. Yeah, I'm not using low delay. I don't. That's why I didn't expect anyone to join. It's literally my fault. I'm using a normal delay instead of ultra low delay. Or low delay. Yeah, I'll probably change it for next stream so it could be more interactive. My bad. If you were reloading, like I said, like I didn't change the. I made the delay normal instead of like ultra low. So it's literally my bad. I have a question for you actually. Can you see? Actually, I'll just do it like this. Enable game capture. This is why I use Wayland. I like using game capture. You say KDE is more performant for streaming, but I'm using. I'll show you real quick. Oh, I'm not using that. I usually use GStreamer, which is actually more performant than FFmpeg a VA API, and I found it works just fine. It actually performs better than FFmpeg VA API. Personally, I find KDE to be buggy, so it's just personal taste. No, I guess I'll just log in to the game and show you the performance. I hope my clocks are fixed though, because like I normally don't run core control. Like I said, I use AMD GPU clock. I guess I'll just show off some gameplay real quick. Game capture. That should pop up in a second. I actually don't have a Reddit account, which is surprising. I love like Unix porn. Ignore this. This literally says it crashes all the time, but it doesn't do anything. Still works fine. It's not showing Overwatch. I must have typed the environment variable wrong. OBS VK capture. Am I getting trolled right now? Should have went to the GitHub page. There we go. That's not it. I am using EGL. Maybe it's one word. I swear it was 2 words, man. I'll try VK capture as one word. Do you personally play Overwatch, by the way? Let me check chat while this launches. The linear thing, I had this working literally earlier, but I uninstalled it just for this video. Yeah, now it's working. VK capture is one word. Let me see. I just want to check if my GPU clocks are good. Yeah, they seem fine to me. That's perfect. I'm gonna relog real quick. I'm gonna put everything on low. I actually like having this on, and shadows enabled can help you spot certain enemies if they're behind something about a peak. By the way, this is my first stream, like ever, in like 2 years. I'm not sure if I mentioned that. So I'm so disorganized. I'm using the 6900 XT. On KD, you essentially have OBS VK capture performance on display capture. You're more of an RPG guy. I don't think I've bought an RPG recently. I bought Cult of Lambs recently. I haven't played it though. Everyone says it's so good. I've been mainly grinding out Overwatch. This is not my main account. I'm currently like 3.6, 3.7, 20, something like that. I appreciate you. I'm probably gonna make more of these, just random tutorials, like out of nowhere. Oh, there's no one online. What time is it? Oh, 6 a.m. for me. Yeah, I'm a night owl. Let's see. I'll just show off like one free for all and end the stream there. I have a bunch of games on Steam installed actually that I had yet to have to play. And most of them I bought them because like in case anyone comes over, I have like a bunch of indie games to play. I should have turned off the pipelines in the dxvk.com, but I'll do that later, I guess. I don't even like this crosshair. Like I said, this is not my main account, different settings, but fine. Turn off the FPS counter. What RPGs do you play, man? I'll read chat in a sec while I join the game. You're in Greece? How do you know English? Final Fantasy 7 remake is pretty amazing. Let me check out my Steam games to see if you recommend any of them from there. Because I'm low-key running low on money. I spent so much on like a new microphone and stuff. It's actually kind of absurd. So these are my currently installed. Let me update this. Let me go to... Where is the... There we are. Most of these I haven't played. Actually, only on console like a couple years back. Control is really good, by the way. If you're into like more of a storytelling game.
Back in the saddle again.
Long story short, it talks about like a lot of... It alludes to a lot of government programs. And you kind of get to see behind the wall of like they talk about like a lot of theoretical concepts like collective consciousness and stuff like that, and you're like this main protagonist that has these superhuman abilities, and you're fighting off I guess the bad ideas, the hiss that's inside of people's heads. I don't know how to explain it. I've barely played it. Most of these hours are just from me forgetting that was running in the background. Cult of the Lamb. I know that game's amazing just based off like my being like a little bit of gameplay, and it reminds you of Binding of Isaac. I have yet to play Cuphead. Elden Ring. Oh, dude, I need to play this game as well, dude. I used to crash a lot on Windows. That's actually one of the main reasons I started gaming on Linux. Like a lot more than I used to. Like I just couldn't stop crashing on Windows, and it runs perfectly on here. By the way, you can enable ray tracing, even though it runs terribly on... Where is it? Control? Where are you? You can just type this in. And this enables you can enable ray tracing in the settings. Oh, sorry, it went too fast. That's like, I think Control is one of the only games that actually runs worse on Linux than it does on Windows for me. Well, just because of ray tracing. Without it, I think it runs the same. Hollow Knight, I know that's a great game. I just like, you can see 0 minutes played. Journey, I know it's an amazing game. 0 minutes played recently. Limbo, I have like a lot of games I just need to play. I'm too addicted to the grind of Overwatch, man. The new DLC, I gotta get to First Rain 2. I recommend that game. If you haven't played it, it's an amazing game. One of my favorite games of all time. Slime Rancher, it's fun for a bit. Really chill and laid back game. Why did I get this game? Must have been on sale. I don't remember. Unrail's really fun. Undertale, obviously, another masterpiece. Valheim I've yet to play. Though it's so good. Yeah. It must be like the open source drivers. Like I haven't tried running it on the proprietary just because it literally like it won't run like for me. Control. I'm probably doing something wrong. Wow, dude, you have a crazy library. Holy shit. 350 games. Damn. I have a lot. These are just the games I have installed, but I probably have like 40 max. Let me go back into the game. I'm still in queue. Where is it?
Don't move.
No, but seriously, man, how do you learn English? And you're in Greece. I'll read everything after this. And I'm paying this. It's a long queue. It is 6 a.m. for me.
It's time. Rest
Dude. I'm so fucked.
I've never called myself a revolutionary.
My hook went through you twice. I got the legs, dude. Oh. I hate hog players in deathmatch, bro. Like, come on. Let's play a tank in deathmatch. Okay. I don't think I'm gonna find the game. Normally the queues are never this long. You're just doing a widow headshot. Only thing I'm good at, man. On ping though. Let me enable stats real quick. I don't want the FPS counter. I want latency, interpolation, 83 ping.
One shot, one kill. What I've done. Double kill. Je vais faire un carton. Impeccable. Double kill.
Sorry, I'm being a bit quiet. Kind of focusing.
One shot, one kill. It's not you, it's me. Double kill. One shot, one kill. À la vie, à la mort. One shot, one kill. Le baiser de la veuve. One shot,
Got you 60 him real quick.
one shot.
I'm gonna hit a 360 and I'm gonna get off with this. Maybe.
One shot, one kill.
People just keep on leaving the game.
One shot. One shot. One kill. Oh, did that hurt? One shot. One
Yeah, that guy's set up for one. Hold up. Grappled up.
One shot. One kill.
Kind of sloppy one. I'll take it. I'm gonna end the stream there. I don't think I'm finding a game ever. I hope you enjoyed. If you use AMD GPU Pro, runs like on Windows. What one is on like on Windows? I'm Overwatch. Because I found that DXVK async patch actually does not work. And actually for me personally, I've got less performance using the proprietary driver. And also asynchronous calls doesn't work on DXVK for some reason. But are you talking about like control? Control of RT. Wow. Like, could you like explain to me how? Because I know I have this installed, the Vulkan prefixes installed. Vulkan prefix. Yeah. Well, I should just be able to type VK Pro, and it should use the proprietary driver. If I run like Steam. I used to have it so that when I launched Steam and I put that as an environment variable, it worked. But now that doesn't work for me. So one thing that what was it I'm gonna do? And I don't know the name of it. I just know radv. Maybe I can just type pro here, but I'm not sure. Like, if you could explain that to me real quick, that'd be nice. What should I type? Like here, would I change to just pro? Or should I just change all of this to VK Pro? Let me check. I don't know. Because that's where I found these commands at ProtonDB. Pro. Yeah, I have them installed. I have the proprietary drivers installed, as you can see through here. Word. Why do I have the AMF? I don't think it matters. I just don't know how I would run it. Then select it with. Oh, okay. Okay, I see. How do I do that again? Like uh I know like there's a directory for it. I can find it in here actually. Right? What is it called? Vulkan prefix. Vulkan prefix. Yeah. So this is where it would be. Okay. Are these the pro though? I think so. Literally says pro. Let me uh I'm just gonna copy this real quick. To here. Um, okay. And then copy this into here. And then slash user share Vulkan cd I think that might work, right? In the pro. Okay, let's see if I launch. Yeah, I think I have that set up. Right? Rad V. So I should probably turn this off because Rad V. Okay, I copied it twice. Looks like by accident. I don't think I need to be capital. I think I had it before. Yeah, just Mango HUD works. Okay. Oh, dude. I have all this stuff that I copy and pasted by accident. Yeah. Okay. Wish me luck. Hmm. It didn't really work for me. Try. Oh, there we go. It seems like it wants to run. It works for me on Garuda. Yeah, it might be because I have I used to use Garuda for a while. I already have this set in my profile. My fish profile. If I unset, I have to reboot though if I do this or log out, log again. I'm like hard setting these as environment variables when I log in. So every program that I use uses them, and as well as in my export.conf.d, it's specified that I'm using the AMD GPU driver. So it's probably like a conflict trying to use two drives, like one driver for Wayland and a different driver for the game. So maybe if I delete the AMD GPU conf and then either leave my fish profile like with this either undefined or set to the pro driver, it might work. But I'll go ahead and take a look at it. Thanks for sticking around. I think I'm gonna end the stream here. Actually, if you have, like, I'm gonna let you like give you 1 second to see like if you have any questions for me. The environment variable might cause issues though. Okay. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Try setting it to 0. Launch options. Yeah, I do have it working. Like ray tracing does work. It's just the performance on ray tracing is terrible. Yeah, like I can show you. Let me just, because 0 didn't work if that's what you meant by setting this to 0. Let me just copy this. Let me turn on my controller. Sometimes Zal crashes for me. So far on like the open source driver, I just get 30 FPS with ray tracing on, and personally I can't play like that. I don't know, it's just too laggy. 24, 30. I even have VSync turned on to add an additional buffer to get more frames. I can't, but I'll try to get the proprietary working, and hopefully I get way better performance on ray tracing. If not, I'll just continue playing with ray tracing off or play on Windows because I get great performance with it off. Before the VICD thing. No, the RADV thing. The RADV thing that is in profile. My profile. RADV. Just copy the name and set it to 0 before VKICD. Look at the AMD GPU thing. It should be considerably higher. If the open source driver sucks completely with RT, look into AMD GPU Pro thing. It should be considerably higher. Just copy the name and set it to 0 before VKICD. That's what I'm not getting. I get that I should use the Pro driver. I don't know what you mean by set it to 0. I don't know. I'm just too dumb, I guess. Pega right now. I don't know. I'm not getting. Maybe this, as you say. So in dot profile, yes, that's the environment variables. Yep, that's correct. Yep. Which I have, I think, still open here. Yeah, this is delay. Okay. Just set that one to 0. I could just like undeclare it. Or should I just set it to 0? I'll try both. But I'm gonna have to log out or reboot. Log back in, and then that would end stream though. Yeah, I already have that here. Okay, so noted. I'll just uncomment this, and whenever I reboot, I'll set this to 0 for the future. And comment this one out for the open source one, and use the Pro driver. No need to reboot. Yeah, just log out, log back in, I know. In the launch option, set it to 0. Okay. So here. Just do it for the game. Okay. So I'll just leave this undeclared. Set my VKICD file names to the pro, and then set this to 0. Okay. So I'm gonna put this inside the launch options then as well. Oh, I mean to do that. Slash OPT. Do I even have that? Yeah. Oh, but this is not. I'm not seeing the file in there. That's the problem. So I probably shouldn't use slash OT. I should probably do what I saw here. Let me check inside here. I'm pretty sure I saw pro here. Yeah. Let's copy this so far. ICD dot X. No. AMD underscore pro underscore ICD 64.json. Okay. Slash user Vulkan. Yeah, I know I spelled that correctly then. I think I should be good enough to launch. Let me check if you said anything. Yeah. So Let me go to my config, fish profile. Vulkan. That's not correct. I'll copy this in here. My fish profile. Awesome. Yeah, it shouldn't have been OTP. I don't know why I copied that in there. When I reboot, I'll be using the proprietary. This is probably not necessary, but I'll have it just in case if it doesn't work right now. I mean, log out, log back in. Yeah, I know, I know. It'd be used from all my games. I'm fine with it. Just I just want to set it to the profile. Just test out control. Now I'll switch back to the open source. I'll just keep this enabled. It doesn't really matter for now. Okay. Launching again. Remove dash dx12. I can hear it, dude. I can literally hear it trying to launch. Yeah, it must be because I don't think I should be using the AMF. I don't even know what that is. Maybe it's the chaotic EUR one. Let me disable chaotic EUR. Perhaps Proton 7 or an earlier one might work. Oh, true. True. What am I using? I'm using GE. What the fuck? Why? Let me try experimental. I have no idea why I was using GE. Yeah, I don't think experiment. Oh, wait. Okay. Wait. Nah. Yo, dude, you were right. You were right. No way. No shot. No shot. Kind of laggy, the interface so far. It must be shader compilation. I wonder if I can enable DXDK async on here. I can probably patch it, the Proton, to have it. I'll probably do that later. Test it out. If it's not already built in, which I doubt it is. Yeah, it's really laggy. But it is working. Just one step at a time. I wonder if you can see this. I'll enable the VK capture in a sec. I'm not sure if you can see that or not. I know now you can, right? Yeah. I mean, you pause right here. Can't even pause the game. Okay. I think it's just my clock. My GPU clock is like not. Trying to pause the game again. Yeah, I don't know, man. It's kind of bugging out, but it works. For a fact, it works. Mango HUD. I'll try. I'll try to. I'll just quit the game. I'll disable Mango HUD. I did have problems with Mango HUD before, a long time ago, but I've had problems with Mango HUD. Yeah, look into it. Even to this day, it tells me it gives me errors in Lutris, but I haven't noticed any performance issues with it. Dude. Oh wait, it was working. Options. It is better than before. Still kind of like buggy, but better. It's not happy. Alrighty. Let me quit, please. Game. Can't pause. Dude, come on. Might just alt tab and stop it through Steam, and then just validate files. What the? Maybe switch the latest Proton 6. I hope I can edit this out in the YouTube later. Proton 6 is not having it. Should I just reinstall all of this? But instead of using the chaotic AUR, just do it through here. I'm gonna try it. Oh, might be a bad build through the chaotic AUR. Let me go back to Proton 7. Oh, you can't see my screen. Forgot. I'm compiling. Something in VK3D has broken in it. I'm not sure what to do about that though. I just reinstalled all the these drivers, but not using the chaotic ER. Like my own, I just compiled them. Yeah, now I won't even. Well, I guess. Thanks for your help. I don't want to waste more of your time. I'm gonna keep on troubleshooting this for like probably half an hour more, and then just give up and go to bed. GG's. Thanks for the advice of having not been able to use the proprietary driver. Um, but yeah, hope I can edit this down and remove all the shenanigans we were up to. If not, it's whatever. I'll probably take your advice on it too. I'll make me a Reddit account, post it on. Not sure, probably like Linux gaming. Jeez.